Hey everyone, so you asked for it and here it is. You wanted to see what was inside of my pack, what I'm carrying with me on our current Appalachian Trail through hike, and that's what we're going to show you today. How's my hair?
Fine, you look
My
good.
camera ready? So what I'm going to do is just very briefly go through what is inside of my pack, what I'm carrying on my back, and at the very end we're going to go weigh everything and show you what the base weight is of this guy here. Alright, so first things first, I am carrying the Z-Packs Arc Blast. I just wanted something pretty simple and something that was really lightweight. I really enjoy the mesh pouch or the mesh pocket on the outside where I can just kind of throw all of my odds and ends. I like the frame, it fits, it works well. On the outside of the pack, I always carry the Thermarest Z seat. This is used every single day in some capacity. This just makes every day a little more comfortable. Like most people here on the trail, I am carrying two 1-liter smart water bottles. These are for clean water only. I take that out, I take this out. Inside of the mesh pouch of the bag, I am typically carrying either a buff, which I'm wearing now, or I'm carrying my hat. This is, I believe, the REI Scree-Line cap. It breathes well, so you have little vents on the inside. It folds up and you can throw it in your pocket or throw it in your bag. There's not much to say about it. I really like the hat and it works well. At the very bottom of this mesh pouch, I always have my my headlamp. Once it starts getting dark, you're going to be scrambling for one. I have the Black Diamond Spot. No particular reason why I have this one other than the battery life was pretty good. I only have really one issue with this. There, you have a touch sensitive side here. Once you touch this, it activates the spotlight on your headlamp. You find yourself, or at least I find myself, touching that all the time and blinding myself and others, which is super annoying. I wish this was a actual physical button in itself. That would really help out a lot. Another item that I have been carrying in my mesh pocket is the Mountain Laurel Designs rain mitts. They come unsealed, so you have to seal them yourself, and they don't seem to match up with, it says left hand here and right hand on the other, but they only fit in the opposite direction. I'm not really sure what that's about. They haven't really held out water very well. So these are probably going to end up going home at some point real soon. They don't really see much use. One item that I'll briefly just go over that is not going to be weighed at the end of this video is the Gossamer Gear LT5 trekking poles. I have another review, pretty poor review of these on our page if you want to see that. But these are great carbon fiber poles. Somehow they've held up to the daily abuse that I've put them through. I don't know how. They must be pretty darn strong, but they work, and I like them a lot. But again, they're not going to be weighed at the end of this. Usually, I will actually be wearing these. It seems like lately they don't get much use either because we're just walking in the rain. But I have a pair of Oakley Flak Jacket 2.0 XLs. These are not going to be weighed either, but I just wanted to show them because these are very valuable to me. I literally put them on any chance I get. Super awesome sunglasses, and they're really durable. On the side of my pack, I carry a trowel, and that is the Deuce of Spades. And this is the number 2 size. I have this on a small aluminum carabiner so it doesn't rust, and I like to have this accessible because, as every single one of you knows, when you're out in the woods and you have to go, you don't want to go digging through your pack. So super duper useful, the Deuce of Spades. As of recently, if you've seen some of our update videos on the trail, I had been experiencing some issues with my IT band and some pain outside of the knee. So to help fix that, we've been massaging the outside of my leg, the affected area, and the easiest way for me to do that has been to use a muscle roller. You can use your trekking pole, as many do. The only problem is if you have hairy legs, it hurts and it pulls out your hair. So we ended up getting one of these, and it seems to make that a lot more comfortable, and we use it a lot. So you can use it from head to toe, sore muscles, knots and things. It really helps to work those out. On the pack itself, outside of the standard pack that we have purchased, I also added the hip belt pouches. We have 2 of them here on the outside. Typically, one of these pouches is going to be used for all of my snacks because I need to have them accessible, and I kind of keep myself on a calorie drip all day. So on the other pouch, I like to keep my valuables, so that's typically going to be my wallet, my phone. Just like to have those things handy when I need them. Alright, that pretty much consists of everything on the outside. Let's get on to the inside and show you what I got. This backpack is lined with a compactor bag. Some people will choose to use the compactor bag, or they'll just use dry bags. I do both. I just like the added security of knowing that the things I have inside of my pack that need to stay dry are going to stay dry. With that being said, Stacy and I both use the Sea to Summit Ultrasil Nano tarp poncho. This is the only piece of rain gear that I am currently using. The biggest benefit to having a poncho is its breathability. As we're starting to, warm up here and get into the warmer season, this becomes more and more valuable. In the colder months, it's a little more painful because, as everyone on the trail knows, it doesn't matter what kind of rain gear you have, you're still going to get wet. So that means you just have to be able to put on dry clothes and dry out as quickly as you can. My philosophy when I am backpacking is I like to have everything as organized as possible. So to do that, I like to section everything off with dry bags or stuff sacks. So for food, I typically will carry a Sea to Summit Ultrasil Nano dry bag. This is where I will put all of my dinners. So anything that needs to be cooked with a stove will go in one bag. And then I have a separate bag, and this is a Sea to Summit Cordura, I believe it's called, stuff sack, and all my snacks go in here. No particular reason why I have different fabrics for the 2 uses, but 2 separate bags to kind of divide those up helps things out. Next up is my cook kit. My cook kit is based off of mainly Toke's products. The main unit here is the Toke's 900 milliliter pot. This is what we're going to put all of the things that we cook in. So your ramen noodles, your mashed potatoes, all the things that need to be cooked go in here. So inside of this, you open that up, I also have another cup. Some people will do just a pot or a cup. I like to have 2 separate so I can have a meal in one simultaneously while I'm drinking a hot liquid or something in the other. So inside of the pot I have a small towel. This is just used to clean up any mess you have. I also have a Toke's titanium 550 milliliter cup, and inside that cup I have a small sponge, the BRS titanium stove, ultra lightweight, super cheap at like $19, easily replaceable, and I've been using this for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but I haven't had any issues with it. The fact that I can fit this inside of this whole system along with a fuel canister is really valuable to me. And then last but not least, which I don't show here, is my fuel canister fits inside and a mini Bic lighter will fit underneath. So all of this nests together into one small compact unit, easy to maintain, works well. So for our water filtration, we started off with a Sawyer squeeze, which we had been using together for a few years. Because we've been having to filter so much water while we're out on the trail, we decided to switch to something with a better flow rate. So we switched to the, don't know how you pronounce it, I've heard Katadyn or Katadyn B-Free 3-liter bladder and filter. This works really well. We've been loving this. I carry the filter in the bladder, and along with another separate dirty water bladder. Stacy just carries a bladder. So we both share this. It makes the process a lot easier. It really cuts our time in half as opposed to the Sawyer squeeze. Next up, part of the big 3 is the sleeping pad. This is the Xped Sinmat HL Duo Winter Medium. So this is a dual chamber pad, so you can inflate each chamber separately. You can have a different firmness on each side. I will carry this sleeping pad and Stacy carries the tent. So that's a huge benefit for two people hiking together, is we can kind of split up the weight a little bit. Now this is about the same weight as two separate pads anyways, but this does help us conserve warmth. So that way when we're laying together, the two pads don't slide away from each other. Even if you have the two straps to hold the pads together, we believe this system works a lot better and we've enjoyed it a lot. When it gets hot outside, we'll probably get rid of it and go to two separate pads because we probably won't want to be sleeping too close to each other. One for warmth and two because we stink. This is inside my pack. Typically I have it inside of my mesh pocket because I use it so frequently, but this is the Patagonia Houdini windbreaker. Not much to say about it other than it's really lightweight and it works well. So it sees a lot of use out here on the trail. Now I like to throw all of my clothes in a separate stuff sack. This stuff sack is the Sea to Summit Ultra Still 8 liter. All my extra clothes go inside of this. This just ensures that when we're wet outside and it's cold, I have dry clothes ready for me when I set up the tent and I'm ready to go to sleep. Inside of this dry bag, I carry the Smart Wool 250 weight base layer bottoms, Appalachian Gear Company beanie, the North Face TKA 100 fleece gloves, an extra pair of the Darn Tough wool socks, also a Patagonia R1 hoodie, micro fleece, super warm. It's hard to hike in this because it gets so warm. A pair of the Injinji sock liners. These are invaluable. Haven't had any issues with blisters so far on the trail. An extra pair of Exvisio boxer briefs. I am currently wearing the other pair right now. A pair of wool socks dedicated for sleeping. Thank you, Melody. For pants, I'm using the Prana Zion Stretch. This is typically being worn every day, but this is an Appalachian Gear Company alpaca shirt. Breathes really well, super light, keeps me warm even in cooler weather, and that about covers everything inside of my clothes bag. So let's keep going. I have I have the Cocoon Mummy liner. This is really good for really super cold weather, which we were running into a lot in the beginning of the trail. My suspicion is I'm either going to get rid of this or I'm going to ditch my quilt and end up sleeping in just this. But this has been good to increase the warmth in addition to my quilt. For a pillow, I'm using the Sea to Summit Aeros Premium Large. I am a side sleeper. I toss and turn a lot, and for me personally, a comfortable pillow makes the difference between a good night's sleep and no sleep at all. So that's why I have the pillow that works for me. And at the very bottom of my backpack, I have another dry bag. Go figure. This one is used typically just for my quilt. And sometimes if it's too hot, I will throw my puffy jacket inside of this as well to make sure that this stays dry. Alright, so for the quilt, I am using the Enlightened Equipment Revelation 20 Degree. Now this quilt is a custom quilt. This is a long wide, I believe it is. Because I toss and turn so much, it makes sense that I just want to get some extra room, and it just increases overall comfort for me. This has been seriously one of my favorite pieces of gear. It works without fail. Always keeps me warm, super comfortable, incredible high quality stuff, so can't say enough good things about it. So like I was saying, in addition to this quilt inside of this dry bag, I will sometimes throw this this puffy jacket in there. This is the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer. This sees a lot of use as well. This will typically either go in the bag if it's too hot or on the top of my bag if it's cold, so I can access it really quickly. Super lightweight, super warm. I can't hike in it because it's so warm and you don't want to get it wet, but great piece of gear. I'd definitely buy it again. And last but not least, I have, go figure, another dry bag. But this one is my Miscellaneous dry bag. Everything else that doesn't have a good place inside of my pack, or it doesn't need to be readily accessible, goes right in here. So first up is a Ziploc bag that contains some miscellaneous things like my allergy medicine, earplugs, some insect repellent, some toothpaste, which I'm not going to include a lot of these items inside of my base weight when I go to weigh it. Anything consumable is not going to be counted. My bear bag hanging kit, which includes some 550 cord, which have some reflective material in it so you can see it better at night, as well as an aluminum carabiner, which is useful for making sure that it doesn't rust when it's sitting outside in the rain. And we have a small travel toothbrush, small Cuban fiber bag that goes with the bear bag hanging kit. This is just like a rock stuff sack is what I've been using it for. Some vitamins, a bandana that I use to keep sweat off of my head, my DIY first aid kit. I'm not going to show you everything that is inside of here, but as you can see, it's super small, compact, but it has every single thing that I need while I'm out here on the trail. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below, and I could possibly just do another video in the future and show you exactly what's in here and why I have it. I'm currently wearing a wool polyester blend shirt by Stoic. I typically will just use this for around town. We're in a town right now, so it just makes sense to have something clean and nice, ready to go. I'm also wearing Patagonia baggy shorts. Recently purchased these while on the trail because it was getting a lot warmer outside, and I just needed something to kind of cool me off. For camp shoes, I am using the Bedrock Classics. Lightweight shoes, there's really not much to them. They stay on my feet. They have Vibram soles, so you can kind of walk around town pretty comfortably. But me personally, I wouldn't do any hiking in them. My feet just aren't conditioned for something like this to be able to hike in, but great camp shoes. So something that's not pictured here is my shoes that I'm wearing every day. I wear the Ultra Superior 4.0s. Great shoes, wide toe box, which is really, really comfortable. I do believe that they potentially caused me some issues in my IT band and my foot. Probably because I didn't train with them. I switched shoes right before I got on the trail, which was a horrible idea. I do not recommend it for anyone. Stick with something that you've been using and training in and you know works, and then you can go from there. But great shoes. I do think that inserts have recently helped out with that. All right, well that about does it. I think that was everything I have in my pack. We're gonna go take all of this stuff outside of consumables. We'll take all consumables out and we will not weigh those. And we're gonna go take this to one of the outfitters down the street. I'll show you exactly what our base weight is. All right, I have my pack on my back. I'm gonna head out to the outfitters just down the street. We are gonna weigh this and see what base weight we're at and show you exactly how much it weighs. I made it. So here's the bag and here's the scale. So we're gonna throw that up on the scale real quick and see what the base weight is. Let's do it. Right at 14 pounds. Lightweight, could be lighter, but you know what? I've got all kinds of luxury items and cool things that make me happy on a daily basis, so this is a good start for a base weight. Not bad. Passion of mine for a long time. I love backpacking and I've always wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail. It just never seemed like I'd be able to get out here. So now that I'm finally out here, I'm super excited to be able to share all these things with you. Between myself and Stacy, we've done a lot of research on each of these items. I'm sure there's something better out there. Everyone has their own opinion of what you should and shouldn't carry on the trail, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about what we're carrying, and what would you do? What would you change? Anyways, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon in the next video.